Here at Setra's Hasselfors facility, we produce sawn and plain wood products. We use the entire log, and our high-quality timber is used for climate-smart construction all over the world. This is how it works. Logs are unloaded and sorted at the log sorting station. All our logs are sourced from responsibly managed forests from the local area. The raw material and our production units are certified in accordance with FSC and PEFC standards for traceability and control. An independent organisation is responsible for recording the volume, measurement and quality of the logs received into the log sorting station. This process ensures that the forest owners receive the correct price for the logs that they supply Setra Hasselfors. The logs are graded into timber classes based on diameter and length. In the log yard, the logs lie in piles for roughly 8 to 10 days. We spray the piles with water during the summer months to ensure the logs do not dry out, split or suffer from fungal disease. The log stacker collects the logs for sawing and places them on the log deck. The debarker removes bark from the log and shaves off any buttress. We incinerate the bark in our solid fuel boiler, and the energy is used to dry our timber and heat our premises. Once the bark is removed, the logs are turned so the top of the log enters the saw line first. The log enters through a measurement system that calculates how we can maximise the amount of timber produced from the log. The log is rotated so that the curve is directed upwards. In the first saw group, the log is reduced and 2 sideboards are sawn. The sawdust is sold as fuel and the chips are sold as raw material for the pulp industry, where it is used for the production of paper and packaging. The sideboards are sent to the edger. The log is rotated 90 degrees and fed into the second saw group. Another 2 sides of the log are cut and 2 or 4 sideboards are sawn. At the same time, we saw 2 to 5 planks from the centre of the log. The boards are first scanned in the edger to measure and calculate the sawn dimension. The aim is to saw boards that are as wide and long as possible from each block. The waste removed from the block is chipped and used in the pulp industry. The edging and resawing process has now produced timber that is transferred to the green sorter, where we categorise the timber into different dimensions. Drying stacks are made in the stacker. Drying lathes are placed between each layer of timber to allow warm air to circulate through the packages in the drying kiln. The drying time for different types of timber varies depending on its thickness. From roughly 1.5 days for the thinnest dimensions to 3 days for the thickest. When the timber has dried, it is transferred to the intermediate storage facility or directly to the dry sorting and planing mill. Production at Setra and Hasselfors is largely automated. However, our competent and dedicated employees make sure the job gets done correctly. Our employees constantly look at ways of improving production to achieve our ambitious targets. We conduct several quality control checks during our production process. These include regular spot checks and continuous monitoring to ensure that everything is running smoothly and that the finished timber lives up to our customers' quality requirements. The next stage of the process takes place in the dry sorting and planing mill. The timber is first moved to the timber lift. We then remove the drying lathes from the packages and return these to the sawmill for reuse. The quality is checked at the infeed and the pieces are fed into a single piece feeder. The timber is rotated so the curve is directed upwards where it is fed into the planer. We are proud to say that our dry sorting and planing mill is one of the most modern of its kind in the world. Our plain structural timber fulfills the requirements of different national standards in the various markets worldwide. We plane between 100 and 200 pieces per minute, depending on dimensions. Sometimes we also perform cutting in the planer, where we split one piece into two. Sawdust created during the planing process are sucked out and transported to a wood fuel pellets manufacturer to be used for climate-smart heating for houses and premises. After the planer, two brake mats slow the pieces before they land on the receiving table. During grading, the pieces are fed into a single-piece feeder and then through the scanner. The scanner analyzes the strength of the pieces, the length and the visual quality. In the trimmer, we cut the pieces to the lengths decided. Waste from the trimmer is cut into chips and used in our boiler. We mark the finished timber with quality stamps. The timber is moved and placed in compartments based on length and quality. When a compartment is full, it is moved to the packaging machine. The packaging machine packages the timber. We use binding lathes to add stability to the packages. After the packaging machine, the pack is wrapped and strapped in several automated stages. Finally, storage bearers are strapped on and the pack is labelled. Produced from our local forests and at our sawmill, the high-quality timber is now ready to be delivered to the global marketplace. Through our process, Setra is striving to achieve our vision. To do business in a way that we and others, our clients, society and nature can benefit from. We call it Grand Summit.